The holiday season is approaching and the consumers are excited to once again get the taste of House of Coffee's cinnamon cappuccino and their orange peel Americano. Toppings are available for both of these options, of course. Would it be a true holiday beverage without toppings? It's no surprise that House of Coffee's winter drinks come with higher sale price than the year-round large cappuccino and large Americano. But why is that? It's not just a House of Coffee phenomenon. The specialty products such as holiday beverages come in less units to sell since they are made specifically to sell for a shorter period of time. During the holiday season, orange peel and cinnamon are in high demand, and therefore, for the owner of House of Coffee, the prices for these spices is much higher, which impacts the variable cost for their products. Additionally, since House of Coffee promotes these drinks during all of the holiday season, there are also higher fixed costs from these special promotions and advertisements. So how does House of Coffee stay profitable during the holiday season? That's what we're about to find out, and these added costs need to be considered when House of Coffee prices their seasonal specialty items. As we learned with the CPE analysis, the sales price at a given volume of sales needs to exceed the variable and fixed costs to contribute to the overall profitability of the company. No matter the size of a business, understanding pricing, cost, volume, and profit is essential to making informed decisions. So you sit down with the owner of House of Coffee to ask the following questions. How much will each unit cost? What are our fixed costs? How much revenue must we generate to cover all of our costs and still come away with a profit? At what sales price should our products and services be set to where it is competitive with comparable products in the market, customers are willing to pay, and it will allow our company to meet target profit goals? What volume of sales are needed at a given sales price to cover costs and realize a profit? In order to understand these questions and to answer properly, it's beneficial to understand margin and contribution margin. Hello, certified professional. If you are enjoying this course, get accredited with CPE credits for watching it. Click the link in the show notes or visit cpeflow.com to access the full course ad-free and pass the final assessment quiz to officially earn your NASBA approved CPE credits and certificate of completion. We have all heard the word margins in the business world, right? With phrases like running on a tight margin and increasing our margins, most people understand that businesses look at their margins and that higher margins are better than lower margins. Basically, margins are used to cover fixed costs and still have money left over for profit. Grocery stores, for example, usually run on low margins, which means they must be very efficient in their fixed costs if they want to see a profit. On the other side, luxury businesses such as high-end cars operate on high margins, and this means that they can set the sales price well above their cost and have plenty of revenue left over as profit. Higher margins equals higher profits. The margin is the difference between the selling price of a product or service and the cost to produce it. The basic formula for the margin is sales revenue less cost equal margin. The contribution margin is a more specific term for margin. Contribution margin compares sales revenues generated and the variable cost required to generate the sale. It is called the contribution margin because after deducting variable costs, which is what is left of the sales revenue, it contributes towards covering fixed costs. Contribution margin is equal to the sales price minus variable costs. Therefore, the basic contribution margin formula is sales less variable cost equal contribution margin. And if you need to emphasize sales volume like we will in our upcoming example, you can adapt the formula to sales price per unit times number of units sold less variable cost per unit times number of units sold. and that equals the contribution margin. For example, House of Coffee's large cappuccino sells for $7 per unit times 2 million units equals $14 million in sales. Their variable cost of $3 per unit times 2 million units equals $6 million in costs. That results in a contribution margin of $8 million for their large cappuccino when 2 million units are sold. Similar to fixed and variable costs, the contribution margin can be calculated per unit or total dollar amount. So what House of Coffee naturally wants to know is, are the holiday beverages priced optimally to allow it to make a profitable margin? Last year, the cinnamon cappuccino sold for $10. The variable cost for it was $5 per unit. At 2 million beverages available for sale, that meant $20 million in sales, $10 million in variable cost, leaving a $10 million contribution margin. Because this is a holiday beverage, House of Coffee wants to increase the fixed cost by $2 million, mainly for a special advertising campaign to get customers in the holiday mood, which brings their fixed cost to $7 million. Now remember that the contribution margin for the cinnamon cappuccino was $10 million. That is enough to cover the fixed cost of $7 million with $3 million left as profit. The owner seems satisfied with that margin and decides to keep that price for this season as well. However, when looking at the orange peel Americano, which sold for $8 per unit, the owner realized the contribution margin was not enough at the expected sales volume of $2 million to cover the higher fixed cost of the holiday drink. And that's because the sales of $16 million and variable cost of $10 million, the contribution margin was only $6 million. So he decided to increase the price to $1 per unit for this season, giving him an $8 million contribution margin, allowing him to cover the $7 million in fixed costs and make a profit of $1 million. Now that we know the contribution margin, it's time in our next lesson to look at which of House of Coffee's products will cover expenses and bring in the highest profit through the unit contribution margin.